Hey, what's up, Castlers? LFO7 here for Let's Castle Chess, here to cover the 2023 Happy New Year tournament. And we're going to get right into the first game. That's Tillboy versus Gstrong 100. Tillboy with the white pieces and Gstrong 100 with black. They start off with the Philidor defense. And now this is a solid defense here for Gstrong 100. The light square bishop has a pathway to develop after moving your pawn to d6. This move also defends the e5 pawn, and you do see this pathway for the bishop on the light square bishop. So it's solid. When Gstrong 100 develops his queen, I immediately did not like Gstrong 100's position at all. Tillboy already had a bishop and a knight develop. While, conversely, Gstrong 100's pieces are all sitting in the back row, begging the coach to put them in, or begging the king to put them in. And the queen's like, are you guys going to come out here and help me? Basically, it's funny. I didn't like it. But this is the mighty, mighty gorilla we're talking about, and he has a method to his madness. Let's see what's going on here. Gstrong 100 basically wants to trade off queens, so he can come up with a king side, bust open that defense on the king side, on Tillboy's king side. And there you can see, Tillboy's king side house is open. Plus you have double pawns, which can later be exploited. It's a weakness. So maybe Gstrong has plans of exploiting that weakness somewhere down the line. Gstrong 100's plan of attack is to basically march these pawns down and bust up the defense, which he's going to try to succeed in doing. Let me fast forward here. Yeah, now you can see he's starting to march those pawns down. So Tillboy moves his king to h2 to avoid the discovered check. Discovered check. You see this rook here on g8. But Gstrong takes another pawn. And then Tillboy, he plays pawn to f3, missing the opportunity to play bishop takes h3, which was the best move because you equalize the material and you're reinforcing these four squares on g1, g2, g3, and g4. But instead, let's go back. Instead, he brings that knight to h5, and then bringing the bishop in. Just an excellent job by Gstrong of bringing in the cavalry and making his pieces work for him. He eventually tightens the noose, getting a favorable endgame, and achieves checkmate on move 55. Just a solid game of chess by the mighty, mighty gorilla here. And he's going to get his first win. And this is what tends to happen. Gstrong gets off to a fast start in these tournaments. The question is, can he sustain it? So this is 1 point for Gstrong. He is on the leaderboard. He's on the scoreboard. Let's move to the second game, and probably the most anticipated game of the tournament. That will be Warpathhunter versus Ydtd. And these guys have been just verbal jousting for about a month now. Let's get to this game. All right, so we got Warpathhunter with white, Ydtd with the black pieces. And in this game, we get a Sicilian defense. And I remember Warpathhunter called me up and says, he thinks he's going to get me with the Sicilian defense. I've been training for this. So let's see what happened. Warpathhunter goes for the pin, I see. These are all book moves. Ydtd unpins his knight. We get a trading of equal material. And Hunter pushes his D pawn. Ydtd takes and chooses to open up the position. And then you get a kingside castle from Hunter. Jostling for position, trying to develop, pushing the pawns. Ooh, and then it gets interesting. This gets interesting. Rich moves in for the kill, and Ydtd blocks. Hunter doesn't want to swap queens, and Ydtd doesn't want to lose his queen because he knows Rook E1 is coming. All right, Hunter's gonna move his Rook to E1, and if he does that, if he keeps that queen on E7, that pins the queen to his king. So that's how you lose your queen and the game. So he moves that queen to D7 and would rather take the check on the king instead, which does happen. Okay, so Ydtd threatens Hunter's queen, and Rich moves his queen to B3. But thing is, Rich missed a hard-to-find tactic. Let me explain. If Rich just simply takes, Rook takes E7 check, okay? Then you get King takes E7. Then you get G takes F6. All right, you're taking that knight with the check. G takes F6. Queen to B4. Check. Then you get King F7. Then you get Bishop to E3. Okay, and you go up in the exchange. You lose a rook, but you've taken his bishop and knight off the board. You are up in the exchange. And as you can see, that's a +1, but it's major. Okay, but he missed that tactic. So let's continue. All right, so he threatens the queen, and he moves the queen to B3. Ydtd tries to seize the momentum with a check on Hunter's king. Then another check. And Hunter moves it to E2. Ydtd checks him again. Hunter does not want to move his king onto that D file because that rook is going to move to D1. If he goes here, that's no good. You can see the eval bar just dip to black because you know that rook check is coming, and then you could possibly walk into a mating net. Either way, it's losing. Okay, so let's go back here. So Warpathhunter does not want to go on a D file, so what does he do? He moves back to King to F1. Now, conversely, Ydtd is not in a position to really do anything. His knight is under attack right here on F6 with Warpathhunter's pawn threatening it. He's got a hanging pawn on B7. He can't castle. But he can't castle because the queen is guarding that that diagonal. So it's not really a great position to be in. So when all else fails, find the check on the king. And that's what he does. Only thing is, this is going to repeat the position 3 times. And that's going to trigger, which it does, a draw. And I can imagine Warpathhunter pumping his fist in the air triumphantly for this draw because he's been taking a lot of verbal abuse from Ydtd leading up to this tournament. As it stands, Ydtd still has yet to defeat Warpath Rich in a daily game. So we'll see what happens in game 2. But yeah, Warpathhunter called me up and he was just ecstatic. He was just very, very, very jubilant. Let's move on to Warpathhunter versus Kehicks. And here we get a king's pawn opening McLeod attack. Okay, the idea behind this is you can prepare for d4, and if he takes, your opponent takes, and you take back, and you got two center pawns here. Although this would be hanging. But I think that's the idea. You want two center pawns, or if he plays more passive, you can push this pawn here, get two center pawns. I rarely play this opening, but this is Warpathhunter, and you know this man is the king of unorthodox openings, especially with the orangutan opening, which he has yet to do, but I think he's going for the more conventional openings now. But that's neither here nor there. Let's continue. So, excuse me. So Kehicks brought out his knight, threatening that e4 pawn, and Hunter defends it with queen to c2. I want to fast forward to move 7, where Hicks played knight c6. And Hunter responds with bishop to g5, which is too passive, and also misses a chance to gain a winning position if Hunter plays bishop to b5 instead. Okay, pinning the knight, you get rook b8, and then you get d5, and then you get a6, and you're gonna take that. Your d takes c6, winning that knight. Bishop to c8. You get the bishop out of the way. And then you get bishop to d3. All right, and you are up a piece, but that wasn't played. So let's go back. Bishop b5 was played. Hicks unpins his knight, and you get development. You get a kingside castle, queenside castle, and Hicks plays knight b4, which hits the queen. Nice move by Kehicks. Hunter moves his queen to b3. Hicks follows up with a5. But the actually the better move would have been knight takes d3 check. Let me explain. Knight takes d3 check, and then you get queen takes d3. Then you get knight takes e4. Excuse me. Knight takes e4. Get that pawn over there. Bishop takes e4. No, excuse me. Knight takes e4. Knight takes e4. Then you get bishop takes e4. Queen takes e4. Bishop takes g5 check. King b1, move that king out of the way. Rook e8. And you get queen to c6. And then you get finally bishop to f6. Hicks would win a pawn, but that wasn't played. Let's go back to pawn to a5. As you can see, Hicks would have been +1. He'd be up a pawn. But back to pawn to a5, which was actually played. Right here. Hunter backs his bishop up to b1. Hicks threatens the bishop, and Warpathhunter chooses to sack the bishop to open up the h file, I guess, and either double up the rooks or swing the queen over there and go in for the kill. Let me just demonstrate here. You take back with that pawn, and now you got this nice file for the rook. And maybe you can double up the rooks, bring this rook over, maybe somehow get this queen over and move in for the kill. However, that wasn't played. Instead, Hunter takes with the knight. So I'm not really sure what Hunter is thinking here, but I'm sure he'll tell me later. Hicks swings his knight. He swings his knight into play. Hunter defends the g2 pawn, but Hicks simply takes another pawn with knight takes f2. And now Hicks is +3. This is looking bad. Hunter tries to kick the knight off b4, but he forgot his rook is hanging on d1. And Hicks says, "Why, thank you for giving me your rook." And with that, this game is basically resignable. It becomes a blowout. And Hicks goes on to checkmate Warpathhunter on move 42. I'm just going to fast forward it here. And this is an upset. Just a really good game by Hicks, and I'm really proud of him. He said he did not want to just win one game like he did in the last tournament. So he got his one game here. Let's see if he can continue this. Let's look at the leaderboard. Let's head over to the leaderboard, see who's winning. And what do you know? Kehicks is in first place early on. He's got 1 point, and he has half a point of tiebreaker points. Gstrong is in second place with 1 point. And then you got Ydtd with the surprising draw against Warpathhunter. And it's just comical because, Warpathhunter just keeps telling me, listen, tell him he's never beaten me. He's never beaten me, Ydtd. Let him know that. So I'm sure he'll find that out after watching this video. And the rest of the field has no finals yet, no wins. Tillboy does have a loss against Gstrong. We covered that. So that's going to do it for this broadcast. This is Ydtd 07 saying stay tuned. I'll see you soon.